How's it going, everyone? Hope you're doing well. My name is Echoes, one part of the SFF, and we've got a Battlefield 4 weapon review. So this is for the UMP-9 that sits within the engineer class. So before I get into all the damage and best setups and gameplay and best way to use it, all that kind of stuff, I think it'd be best if I explain how to physically unlock the thing. So first of all, you have to complete the engineer basic and engineer veteran assignments, and then you get this engineer expert one. So you have to obtain 10 carbine ribbons to complete it, 200 kills with a carbine, and obtain 50 repair tool ribbons. So this might be a gun that most people unlock really late in the game unless you play engineer all the time. The reason why I say that is, let's take a look at what the requirements are. So obtain 10 carbine ribbons. That's not really that difficult. That's just get a lot of kills in the game. You can do that 10 times, really easy. 200 kills with a carbine, really easy. You can use that across a few classes, and just every time you play a game, just play with a carbine, you're going to get 200 kills pretty easily. It's just the 50 repair tool ribbons that's a bit hard to get. Well, not hard, it takes a long time to get. So I actually dedicated my time to physically unlocking this UMP-9. Just so I could show you guys, for this reason that I thought, wow, most people won't get this really early in the game, so I wanted to show you guys what's good about it, what's bad about it, etc. So, the repair tool ribbons, you have to get 8, I believe. Let's just check the ribbons. I believe it's here. Yeah, perform 8 repairs. So that's when you hit in a tank, it goes repair, repair, repair. You need that 8 times to get 1 ribbon. And you have to do that 50 times. I mean, unless you play a lot of engineer, say you guys play a lot of assault or recon or whatever, it's going to take you ages to unlock that. So I'm going to get into the video in a second, and I'll go into more about what I mean and tell you more about what I think this gun's good for. So without any further ado, let's get into it. Alright, here we go. So I've got some gameplay, but I'm going to bring up the weapon stats for the UMP-9 so we can all take a look. So it's got a damage of 30, actually it's also the same at 30, hip fire, a decent 65, but the range is awful at 15. It does have the rate of fire, however, of a whopping 700, one of the best, if not the best, rate of fires in the PW category. So we're going to go ahead now and compare it to its brother within the same category, the UMP-45, everyone's favourite, and straight out the box we can see it's got 10 more damage than the UMP-9, 40 over 30, accuracy is the same on both guns, 30 each. Hip fire is also the same, 65. And the UMP-45 has 5 better range than UMP-9, 20 over 15, but it has the lesser rate of fire, 600 against UMP-9's whopping 700. So we can see from these stats that the UMP-9 is a really up close and personal gun, even more so than UMP-45, a real true submachine gun. So if it's range you're looking for, don't go with this. I'm going to get into this a little bit more now, so let's take a look at the damage and best setups. Okay, so let's take a look at the damage, and for this I've enlisted the help of my SFF compatriot, I Blast Off. So yeah, he's taking some bullets like some from a freaking bullet cushion. But anyway, let's get into this. So we're going to do it like this. We're going to do close range and then medium to long ranges to the body and then to the head with the defensive field upgrade off and then with it on. So as you can see, close range to the body without the defensive field upgrade takes you 4 bullets to drop someone. And here we go, I'm going to put the headshots in. Even though defensive field upgrade doesn't affect headshots, it only affects the body, just adds 1 more bullet to the damage that's needed to kill someone. So to the head takes 2 bullets, regardless of what you're doing with a defensive field upgrade. Medium to long range to the body without the defensive field upgrade should take you 6 bullets to drop someone, 6 bullets. So as I said before, this gun isn't really built for range. It's not built for range at all. So medium to long range to the head, as I said, shouldn't really affect you, but the damage is 4 bullets from a distance with this gun will drop somebody if you shoot them in the head, in the cabeza. Anyway, close range to the body with the defensive field upgrade. So we turn this bad boy on now. So it should cost you 1 more bullet to kill someone, as it does here. Before, without the defensive field upgrade, it was 4, and now it's 5. So once again, to the head, doesn't really matter. Still going to drop them in 2 shots. 2 shots to the head. Medium to long range to the body with the defensive field upgrade. Now this should cost you 7. I think I Blast Off in that clip had a little bit less health, so it took him a little bit less. I'm just telling you guys, it will take 7 with the defensive field upgrade from medium to long range with this gun. And to the head, it will still cost you 4 bullets, 4 whole bullets. So there's the damage for this, guys. We're going to take a look at some gameplay, and I'm going to tell you all about my favourite setups and what I think you guys should rock in order to do pretty well with this gun in any type of game mode. So let's take a look. So let's take a look at this gun without any form of attachments whatsoever. We'll get to that in a sec. So as you can see from clips like this, you can go on absolute tears with this gun. It holds 31 in a clip, which is pretty decent. Over the UMP-45, I'm going to compare it against that again, because that holds 26 with one in the chamber, over the UMP-9's 31. So not only do you get the faster rate of fire with the UMP-9, you get more in a clip, which is awesome for going on little rape sprees like this. The only thing I will say about this gun is that, as you can see here on fully automatic fire, you do get slight vertical muzzle drift when you fire in fully automatic, but it's literally tiny. It's like 2 centimeters upward drift, and it's nothing. It's really fun to play with this gun. I really enjoyed it. Once you start unlocking grips and sights and all this kind of stuff, it makes it even better. And I don't know what this guy's doing. You can take a seat, sit down. Thank you very much. So another good thing about this gun with no attachment is that the iron sights are pretty good. Standard UMP style sights, if you guys are familiar with it, doesn't obscure too much and more than good enough until you unlock some more sights like the red dots, etc. But we'll talk about that in a sec. Some of you guys may be sitting there wondering, well, Echo, why would I use this submachine gun over something like an assault rifle, say the AK-12? So let's bring the AK-12 stats up and we'll compare it to that. As you can see, the damage is the same on the AK-12. The accuracy is better on an AK-12. Hipfire is worse though, because it has 65 on our UMP-9, and the better range is on the AK-12. The rate of fire is better on the submachine gun on the UMP-9. So it all depends what kind of player you are. I mean, it's all about feeling at the end of the day. I don't go into a match saying, oh my god, I must use 20 more power to be excellent, yoo-hoo! Nobody thinks like that. Well, if you do, there's probably something wrong with you. But I always go for feeling rather than like the damage. Obviously, that comes into it when you think, oh, maybe I should use this gun, maybe I shouldn't. But for this kind of match, team deathmatch style, squad deathmatch, running around like a lunatic, I love it. This UMP-9 was really fun to use. Depends what you want to use situation, what kind of mood you're in. I'm not saying you shouldn't use the AK-12, whatever. I'm just here to show you the powers of the UMP-9. So yeah, let's get into the attachments and ways to make this gun even better than it is already. So let's take a look at the gun and all of its unlocks. We're going to come up with a couple of setups. One of them is my favourite that I use all the time, and the other one's kind of like an early progression setup, using some of the equipment that you unlock as you're going through the gun in the early stages. So first of all, let's take a look at the optics. I will say never use these medium ranges. This gun's not built for those kind of ranges, so once you start using them in like close quarters combat, you kind of like overscope and it makes you really ineffective. So let's stick with the close range sights. And two that you unlock pretty soon are the reflex and the holographic. So it's up to you what one you want to use. I personally prefer the red dot sights, actually the coyote, but it's up to you what one you want to use. So I'll stick with the reflex and move on to accessories. Now, you unlock the flashlight and the laser sight pretty early on. The flashlight is pretty decent and it gives a good blinding effect, but it doesn't give us any stat boosts. So if you look at the laser sight, it adds some more hip fire onto that already pretty decent stat of the UMP-9. So go ahead and add a laser sight. On the barrel, now this is where it gets interesting. I feel playing on normal that if I add a suppressor, which is what I usually do most of the time on a UMP gun or any other kind of SMG, that it kind of leaves me at a disadvantage even at close range. I feel if I'm in one-on-one situations using a silencer, I always die before the other person, but it doesn't affect the damage, it affects the range and the hip fire. So it's up to you what you want to use. The only other early thing you might want to use is a muzzle brake, but I'd stop you there, because although it says it reduces that muzzle climb that I talked about earlier, it also adds 30% penalty to automatic fire, which is something you'll be doing all the time. So don't do that, you just make hinder yourself. So let's stick with suppressor for now. It is decent, takes you off the map. Just be careful those medium ranges. If you start to get a little bit too far away from the enemy, you will be at a disadvantage. So under barrel attachment, this is where you can start taking off that muzzle climb. Either go for a stubby grip or a vertical grip. The stubby grip will improve your accuracy by automatic fire 15%, so that's pretty decent, as we were doing automatic fire pretty much all the time. I mean, most of these grips do something decent that you'll get into, but one of these early ones, just add one of those. It's up to you. Hip fire even more boosted through the vertical grip. So I have a stubby grip. Let's leave that on. And that's a pretty decent setup so far. I mean, most of that stuff's pretty early on through the unlocks of this gun. We'll move on to my favourite. So we'll go back to the optics. And I absolutely love this HD33 sight. Don't know if you guys have used it at all on any other gun, but it's kind of like a cross between a holographic and a red dot sight. I think it's freaking awesome. So I'm going to leave that on, move down to accessories, and I'm going to stick with a laser sight. But once you start unlocking these other ones, it gets even better. The tac light is the only flashlight I'd use, because it comes on when you aim your weapon. Doesn't leave you, like, I think you get spotted a lot when you use a flashlight, especially on some of the darker maps. But so I'll stick with a laser sight, can either use a tri-beam or green laser sight, or you can go for the combo light laser. All are fine. I personally go for the tri-beam laser, which I unlock in one of the battle packs. So by the way, I've got all the battle packs, so I've got all the equipment. Barrel suppressor. Once you get the flash hider, there's no need to use any form of barrel attachment other than that. It gives you back the stats from adding a suppressor, but still keeps the effect of taking you off the map. So that's one of the best ones to use. And the underbarrel, I personally go for the potato grip. I just like it, and it gives you the 15% boost on automatic fire. Let me know how you get on with these setups if you try them out. It'd be really great to hear back from you guys, so leave us a comment. Add the channel on PSN for Battlefield 4, so I'll leave that in the description. But that is the end of this video, so please give the UMP-9 a try, persevere and unlock it. And that's about the end of this weapon review, so I hope you've enjoyed it. Please leave us a like, it really does mean a lot. And subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. So peace out guys, thanks for watching, adios.